three areas that I just want to touch on briefly. One would be considered cultures of care. There's a real need to create cultures of care that support our community, individuals within our community that are actually suffering from these different maladies. I also want to talk about the need for community dialogue around this issue. And then I want to just summarize with the need for more education. We've done a lot of work in terms of developing cultures of care and what that's all about. Oftentimes we find that we sort of pay lip service a little bit to what we say we care about. When we really break down what care actually looks like, it's something that we have to be conscious about in terms of what we do and how it's actually applied. And in terms of people that are actually on dialysis, there's the kidney donation aspect that is actually available. There's what's called living donation for the kidneys, as well as posthumous or post cadaveric transplantation, meaning after someone that's actually passed away. And only 1% of the population actually even qualifies to assist someone 1% of the population that dies would be considered qualified to even donate their organs. And the aspect of thinking about and having conversations and dialogue around living donations, at least for the kidneys, is so important because the research has shown that we can live with one of our kidneys, right? And so the other kidney actually can be utilized to actually help community members. And from the years that I've been involved in this work, I've come across a number of Muslims, and we probably all know Muslims in our community that are actually on dialysis, right? And some know about transplantation, and some don't. Cultures of care would look like our community opening up for more understanding around this issue, creating more dialogue between ourselves to be informed about the different avenues that are available. And even if we don't take the step to become donors ourselves for whatever reason, it's something about the energy that exists when the community wraps their thinking and wraps these kind of dialogues and efforts around community members who are sick. That actually is curative in a sense. It is cathartic in a sense, and I've gotten that directly. In fact, the years that we've been doing this work, we've been fortunate. Out of perhaps 3 or 4 individuals that we know needed kidney transplants because they were on dialysis, at least 2 of them actually did receive kidney donations. When we talk about community dialogue, there's a number of different ways that we can actually do the dialogue. But it really does require that the masjid communities throughout the country take an interest in actually having these conversations. So often, leadership in the masjids tend to shy away from having the conversations because they don't really have all of the information at their fingertips, right? No one wants to actually be in a position where they're trying to explain something that don't really understand or don't have all of the information so that they can be informative. However, I believe that some of the most credible people in our community are people that we know, people that are next to us, we mix a lot. And once we begin to create educational opportunities where we have, say, peer dialogues or peer training so that we actually can train people in our communities around this type of conversation, then I think the trust factor that needs to exist for people who will be willing will begin to show up in these spaces.